Hi, it's Jamie with Jamie's Arts a la Cartes. Thank you very much for joining me. I have a fun project planned for us today. I hope this video inspires you to create something of your own. If you would, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. That helps me to grow this channel and to continue to bring you new projects. If you haven't subscribed yet, would you please consider subscribing? And if you have, thank you very much. Well, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. Inside Cricut's Design Space, I opened up New Projects, then selected the Free category. I found the design I wanted to use, and I clicked Customize. I then sized the design for a onesie, and then went over to the Shapes menu there in that far left column and chose a heart shape. I then sized it and duplicated it so I'd have 6 little hearts to put on my little socks. I did end up going back and making everything the same color so that they would populate onto one mat. Once I got everything there, I placed the hearts to the opposite corner so that I could have room to put both pieces of vinyl. So that's a tip. So if you want to use 2 different color vinyls, you can do that, but just in your design part you can make them the same color. But they'll cut out in the right color if you put them in the right spot. So I did make sure that I mirrored everything. You'll want to do that so that any letters will cut out correctly for you. I then selected Continue in that lower right corner. I picked my material, loaded my cutting mat into my Cricut, and went ahead and cut out my project. Alright, this is what we cut out. It's a little hard to see, but these are little tiny hearts that I'm going to press onto the bottom of these little cute sockies for like a slip resistant. And then this has my my little decal for the front. So I'm going to just start by weeding my little pieces here, and I'm going to just cut off what I know I'm not going to use, because actually that was just a piece of scrap that I was able to squeeze those little hearts out of. So when you weed this, super simple. And this is the mat that I use, so I use the green mat. So basically, there they are. And then I'll stick them on the socks, and then we'll heat them all up. And we'll call that one done. Now on this one, I do want to be a little bit careful, because part of the design is keeping and removing stuff. So I want to make sure I keep and remove the right stuff. But I know I can get rid of the outside, because that was my buffer. I have a little tiny piece of purple tape. Get rid of it too. And then this is that love sign, so I'd like to keep the 2 sections that are connected, and then remove those letters. So we'll remove this. And then we're going to remove the background to the other 2 to get that letter on top of letter stacked look. How fun is that? Super simple project. And I might get creative with those pieces, who knows. But there's our decal. Go ahead and I'm just going to use a mini on this, just because it's a smaller decal, and it'll help me to get into that area of the socks. So what I want to do is I'm going to press this before I start figuring out where to put that. But in the meantime, while our mini is warming up, I'm going to take my little socks and make them like, that's where the little foot would be. So here's the bottom. I'm going to try to get it just as flat as I can. Never really done anything like this before, but I'm thinking this will work. We're about to find out. I got them both pretty flat. I looked up on my little guide. With this, I don't really have to worry about that. But I did look up to see. So what I want to do, before I go just removing them, I can keep them on the carrier sheet. And what I want to do is I want to just sort of randomly place them on the bottom of this sock. But this carrier sheet will help me to protect that little glitter, because this is actually a little glitter. So I'm using a Sizzix HTV. I always say that wrong. Iron-on glitter for the decals. So something like that. And straighten that one up just a smidge. This is working on coming up to temp. Yep, there it is. And we'll do the same thing. Just cut them apart. There's enough sticky left on them that they stick right to the little sock. Mufasa says hello. I want them a little closer maybe. How does that look? All right. I want them spread out just a little bit because they're supposed to be like for skid kind of thing, you know, non-slip. So that'll help with that. So basically I'm just going to take my mini and set it right on there. Now if I had a big area that I was doing, I would probably go ahead and use my heat press. Look at there, they come right off because it's a smaller area. Look at that. How cool is that? Look at that. I just made a non-skid sock, y'all. Let's do the other one. We could put parchment on it. Let's do that because it's getting pretty hot. Let's keep just a spare little roll of parchment paper, which is always good to have when you're doing these decals. But as I was saying, if I were to be doing a larger area, I would look up on the heat guide. But then what I did to prepare for this project, I looked at it ahead of time and then compared it to what they say, what the manufacturer says that this little mini will get to. So it will be just, this will work out just fine. We'll see if there's a difference between parchment and using parchment paper and not using parchment paper. I don't think there will be, but it's a good experiment. So this is just a normal little carrier sheet that comes with the iron-on. And there we go. How sweet is that? There we go. We'll let them cool down. Being small, those carrier sheets just came right off, which is nice. So there they are. Sweet little socks. Okay, we'll let those cool down. Now let's go ahead and warm up our onesie. I like to just give it a little press, you know, when it comes out of that package, that little Gerber package, they're all scrunched up in there. So, just like to give them a little press. Makes for a nicer presentation. I'll be giving these as a gift. All right, and then what I like to do is I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to actually fold it this way this time because I want to warm up the back also. So that's a twofer. So what I'm doing is I'm getting the center of my onesie. I don't think it quite did it. Let's do that again. Make sure we do it right. Yep, a little bit different. Just really trying to get it right in here. Get the center. Iron the back of those little sleeves. So then another thing what I do is I take this, and one side's sticky, one side's not. I take the non-sticky side, and I'm going to line up corner to corner. So what I want to do is get a center here, and then a center on the other end. And then I'm going to use my line. This one, the design would have told me, but that's just so that you would know. And I usually go maybe like an inch down. Just eyeball it. I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to find me a ruler. I'm literally going to, didn't even need my weeding tools. This was a super simple design. So now I'm just going to measure it. 2, 1.5 and 2, so that's perfect. Right at an inch down, just a little more. I think I like that. So that's where we're going to do it. And I'm going to go ahead and, because I want to protect the onesie, I'm just going to make my parchment fit. I'll start at one corner, give it a good press. Just get it laying down. Now I'm just going to go and just press, because this will be washed, you know, it's for a baby, a onesie. So I want to make sure it's on there good. So I'll keep just moving it around so that I don't discolor the white. If you leave your heat source on there too long, you could scorch this little fabric for the onesie. It's just cotton. But if you keep it moving around, that'll help prevent that. And typically for cotton, for this kind of decal, you're going to have, you're going to want to leave it on there like 30 seconds. And I'm just moving it around, but it will equal that by the time I'm done. And then I do one extra step. I actually press the back as well, so that I'm sort of melting the front and the back, just to get it to adhere really, really well. Okay. Look at that. That's pretty. All right, we'll flip it over. Work on some of those wrinkles. We'll flip it over. Okay, so with this particular material, vinyl and cotton, pure cotton, we want to remove it when it's starting to cool off. So not when it's fresh pressed, and don't leave it on there after it's like set for a day or something. But the other thing we're going to work on is I've got this little bow. So I cut these shapes out on my Cricut, but I had never quite put it together for her. So we're going to do that today, and we're going to actually turn it into a little hair clip. Because I made a bunch like for little bands, baby bands. But I want to make this one into a little clip for her. So let's get our Ooh La La glue gun going. Get it warming up. And in the meantime, we can turn our Mini off. Let's look at our little socks. Look at those. Aren't those cute? Super simple. And it just used like the tiniest little bit of material. So I don't really want to put heat. Well, this is actually made for heat, so this will work. But I don't want to put hot glue on that. Let's make us a little area. So it basically stacks. It's a little pink flamingo. How stinking cute is that? And then just a little piece for the center. You hot glue it all together. And you bring it to the back, join it. And before I do all that, I'm going to actually stick the bottom piece underneath and then glue that. How fun is that? Make sure these are nice and straight. So, all right, so this is still, this tells me, oh, I love my new glue gun. This tells me it's not quite ready yet. It's getting there though. Got a little bit of glue in there. So what a fun little project. All right, let's do this. And so what I do is I just do it once it's like cooled down to the touch. Like before it was like boiling hot, but it's not now. Let's try pulling this off. Oh my goodness, how pretty is this? I really like this scissor material. Not sponsored video or anything, but it's just, it doesn't ever fail me, and I love that. Look at that. So I do one more thing when I know that it's going like for you know, a youngin'. I know there's some heat left in this. Now that I got the carrier sheet off, I'm just going to give it one more little light press. How fun is this? So this was from Design Space. This decal was from Design Space, and it was free. Right? We all like free. Oh, look at that. See the glitter? All right, so can you imagine that and then that on her little feet? How cute is that? So then we'll just basically let it set there and cool all the way down. And then it's ready to pack up, give away. All right, let's see. Can I get some glue out of there? All right, we're getting some glue. So I want to clean up all my little areas. And basically, the pieces are all, let's see. I don't want to tear it. But anyways, the pieces all, it comes, you know, in a piece. You fold it in half. You glue it together, and you do each piece like that. But we're just going to assemble today. So I'm just going to put a dollop of glue. And I'm going to alternate the colors today. So what I'm basically doing is just centering it. I'm going to press it until it sets up. I'm going to give it another little dollop. I'm going to make sure my flamingos are all facing the right way. I'm just centering it. See there? You just center it. And then I'm going to make sure this, let's see if it's too wide. No, I think it's just right. So what I want to do is I'm going to put another little dollop, and then I'm going to try to center this. If I have to trim it, I can do that. Not a big deal. So just press it. Don't really want it to come out the edge, so let's pull it up and then push it back down. And then I'm going to flip it over and press it down. It looks just fine. And now I want to see, this can come this way. All right. So we want it to stay open. And we're just pushing that down. Actually, just changed my mind. I want it to come over a little bit, so we're going to pull it apart. Pulled it good apart. Squeeze too much. I'll take some of that glue off, because this is just to put the two bows layers together. And I'm centering them one inside the other. Let it catch. And now, I had it over here. I think I should have it there. I think it would set on like her little head better. So I'm going to do it, you know, like up in here, I think. So I want to put just a dab until I get this figured out. There, and then there. And then we'll see if this is too long. And should we trim it? Maybe, because I wasn't sure, so I gave it that little angle just in case I needed that. I don't think we do. Okay. So what I did is I just wiped my tip off just to give a little bit of extra there. And now I'm just going to line it up so that my little seams line up. We'll be able to get all that extra off. We'll use our little Cricut tweezers here, clean it up. And it'll be something like that. Look at that. All right, get our little this and that off. So this is what we've created. So we just took a little simple design out of Cricut Design Space. We added it, we sized it for a onesie. We mirrored it when we are in Design Space before we cut it out. We chose our particular material we were going to cut. The hearts don't really matter if you mirror them or not, but this would matter because it's a word. And then we just assembled this cute little bow. So there's our little outfit. Look at that. How sweet is that? Wow, I'm going to make some more socks, y'all. I didn't know it was that easy. How fun was that? Now, you know, she can have a little bow. How about that? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this project today. It was a fun one. It was a simple one. But it gave us lots of bang for our buck there because it was just, wow, how cute is that? Well, if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, would you please consider subscribing? If this inspires you to create something of your own, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know what you're creating. Well, until next time, happy crafting!